Have you ever faced a decision that was just so difficult, really deeply personal, where the idea of a win-win, it just felt completely out of reach, especially when the family's involved, right? We often think conflict means, well, a winner and a loser, particularly in legal stuff. But what if the real win-win isn't about compromise exactly, but finding a totally new way forward? Today, we're doing a deep dive into divorce mediation. We're pulling insights from a source called Empowered Negotiation, finding resolution that works for everyone. And our mission for you listening is to kind of uncover how genuinely positive outcomes are possible, how we can transform what feels like a battle into something collaborative. It's really different from those traditional court fights.
Yeah, and what's interesting, right, is how traditional litigation almost forces that confrontation. It sets up this zero-sum game. One side wins, the other loses. And that can be incredibly tough, especially when you think about ongoing relationships, like with kids involved. Empowered negotiation, which is really central to mediation, offers a very different path. It's about fostering mutual understanding, using structured dialogue.
Okay, so when we say empowered negotiation, what does that actually look like? Day to day, in the room? How does it help people navigate something really sensitive like, say, alimony or figuring out parenting plans without it just becoming another fight?
That's a really good question, because it's definitely not just a buzzword, right? When we talk about empowered negotiation, we're talking about a process where, unlike court, you and the other person keep direct control. The mediator is there to guide you, to help you communicate effectively. It's about articulating your genuine needs, your concerns. We actually call them interests, which can be different from your initial demands or positions.
Interests versus positions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for instance, someone might say they want the house. That's their position. But their underlying interest might be stability for the children. The other person might say they want to sell, but their interest might be achieving financial independence, for a fresh start.
I see.
By getting down to those deeper interests, the mediator can help craft solutions that are sometimes quite surprising. Things a court might just never consider, like maybe a temporary co-ownership or a creative buyout plan.
Right.
It really shifts the focus from what I want to get to what do we both actually need to move forward?
So it's less about who gets what piece of the pie and more about understanding the why behind it all. And that opens up completely different ways to solve things. That really does sound like a path to agreements that don't just stick, but actually work for everyone.
Exactly. It's all about designing solutions that consider everyone's unique needs. This is crucial for sensitive things like parenting plans. It's not about having an outcome forced on you. It's about creating agreements you've actively helped build yourself. And that feeling of control, that ownership, is a big reason why these mediated resolutions tend to last longer and people stick to them more willingly.
That's a really powerful shift in thinking about conflict resolution. It really is. And, for those of you listening who might be thinking about this, maybe wanting to understand the practical steps involved, well, we actually have an upcoming online class. It's specifically on divorce mediation. It's scheduled for Thursday, July 24th, and it runs from 12:00 p.m. to 1:00 p.m.
Yeah, and in that class, we'll walk you through the mechanics, from the first steps, like exchanging information, to identifying those core interests we talked about, and then the brainstorming sessions where we help people build tailored solutions together. It really highlights how different this is from the rigid adversarial court process. It's meant to give you a clear roadmap.
Okay, great. And attending is simple. Just email contact@TriDialogueMediation.com. Make sure you put online classes in the subject line, and then just include your full name in the email itself. The link to join will only be shared with legitimate participants, so definitely get that email sent if you're interested. And it's important to remember, these mediation services, they're available no matter where you are in Florida.
That's right.
The commitment is really about helping people across the state find resolution in these tough family law situations. So as you go about your day-to-day, maybe just consider this. What does true resolution actually look like for you, especially in those really challenging situations? And maybe how might embracing a more empowered, collaborative approach change your whole perspective on conflict itself? Something to think about.